Hey everyone, this is Jen over at jenscrappypages.blogspot.com, and today's project is using this really cute kitty from the Pretty Kitty stamp set. I made a card using the exact same colors last week in the stamp set, and while I had my stamp set out, I made a couple more to go along with it. So it's a really simple card. Just a little bit of coloring, so shouldn't take you any time at all to assemble. So let's get started with the supplies that I used. I used this really pretty Calypso Coral variegated ribbon, and that comes from the Cupcakes and Carousels embellishment pack. It just kind of has some fun sequins and stuff in there. And I can't get enough of that ribbon. The Pretty Kitty stamp set. And then I use the Stitch Shapes framelits and the Layering Ovals framelits. And you don't have to have the Stitch Shapes. I like the way it looks, but you can always use one of the regular ovals to go inside of your scallop. And these are the two largest ones that we're going to be using for this project. And then I used the Falling Petals Embossing folder from the Occasions catalog. And then the inks that I used, I'll just go through those as we get going on the project because I used quite a few for the coloring in. And then the Wink of Stella to give a little bit of shimmer to the flowers. So cardstock, what I used is a 5.5 by 8.5 Calypso Coral, a 1 by 5.5, and a 3 by 4 or approximately for large scalloped oval, 4 by 5 1/4 Whisper White, 5/8 of an inch by 5.5, and then for my image I stamped on so I could do the coloring. I used the shimmery white cardstock, and I swear I should keep this in bulk and buy its stock or something because I use this stuff all the time. So let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and fold this in half, or if you have, if you prefer, you can score it at 5.5 inches. And then we're going to run this through the embossing folder quick, through the Big Shot. And when I lined up this, yeah, that's right. When I lined this up, I didn't want, I wanted to kind of leave a clear area for my stamp sentiment, which is going to be over here. So this looks about right. You're going to have little petals coming up a little bit here, but nothing will be in the area that we're going to be stamping in. So we'll go ahead and run that through. And there that is. I don't know if you can see there. Isn't that pretty? Those little, they kind of look like hearts too. So we'll go ahead and adhere that on. And then we're going to go ahead and take your 5/8 of an inch piece of Whisper White and put that over the Calypso Coral. And then we're going to wrap the ribbon around this piece. If I can get this going here. So you just want a piece that's a little bit wider. And then I put the darker side, when I put this piece on, I put the darker side down at the bottom. And then we'll go ahead and, I like to just secure that ribbon to make sure that it stays down when I adhere it to my card. I like to be kind of generous with my adhesive when I'm doing that. And then we're just going to go ahead and put that on about the center of your card here. Alright, so we'll set that aside for now. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my basic black ink and I'm going to stamp the kitty on here. It doesn't matter exactly where. I'll just throw her on there. And then let's get out the Big Shot again. And this time we're going to use the magnetic plate because I prefer to use that when I'm cutting with my dies. And we're going to cut the scallop circle out of this. Let's pull this out here a little bit. And then for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and center that into my stitched oval. So that looks about right. Now for the kitty, I decided to go ahead and I'm just going to bring this other one down here so I can kind of see how I did it. I used the Aqua Painter. Oops. I don't really want to close that up. And I'm just going to squish on my pad to bring up some color. And for this one, I'm just going to color in the back part of this little butterfly and just very lightly so the color doesn't bleed. And I did the back part of the butterfly a little bit darker than the front part. So once you have that on, then you can kind of go ahead and color in the front of him. Might even put a little bit more color in the back part. And then let me get my little scrap piece of paper so I can wipe off the excess ink. And then I wanted to do her little bow. So just kind of this lighter, you don't want a whole lot of color in there. I just wanted to keep it kind of light and soft. So you can just go with the ink that is still kind of puddled in that middle there to make it lighter. And just a real light hand to color these in because it's such a fine detail in here. If you get too much water going in there, it kind of has a tendency to bleed out. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that as is before it starts bleeding all over the place on me. And then I'm going to take my Calypso Coral and kind of like how I did the butterfly, I'm just going to take this flower down here and I'm going to lay a little bit heavier ink on the bottom part of this flower. And then I'm going to come back at the top just with barely any ink on here. Just like that. Might do a little bit more. There. We'll set that aside and we're going to get out our So Saffron and color in these little flowers here. And you can use whatever colors you would like. Initially I kind of went off the colors from the Oh So Succulent DSP, which were the Mint Macaron, the Calypso Coral, and the Sweet Sugar Plum. And then I added in the yellow just because I like yellow flowers. So the mint macaron, we're just going to color in these little, I don't even know what kind of flower this is, but these kind of little round bulby things. And then we're going to take Blushing Bride, and you want the Blushing Bride to be really soft because we're just going to be coloring in her cheeks and her ears. So I just kind of put a little bit of pink in here, and maybe a little bit of pink down here towards the bottom of the ear. And then we're going to give her a little soft cheek. And then I want her nose just a little dark, so it shows up pretty good there. And then finally, we're going to take some Pear Pizzazz, and we're just going to color in these leaves. That didn't take too long, so she's done. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to adhere this on to the scallop circle and get my thing out of the way. And then I'm going to pop this up, but I'm only going to put the dots on the top and the bottom because we have the bulk from the middle part there. That should do it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my sentiment before I get this on because I don't want to add any more bulk. And that's just going to be stamped again in the basic black. I'm going to pull this down a little bit towards me so I can see where I'm stamping. There, perfect. All right, I'm always so surprised and pleasantly surprised, I guess, when I get it on straight. And then you're just going to put your little image piece here. And then last but not least, we're going to make a little ribbon. Or a little bow out of the ribbon. There. Tighten that up a little bit, bring my tails down, and kind of fluff out those creases that I just put in. I hate cutting off and wasting so much of this ribbon. There's not much that comes in it, and I hate to waste what there is. Okay. And grab a little dot. And we're just going to stick this down over here. There. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and add another little dot underneath of where that ribbon is, just so it kind of all stays in place. There. Just like that. All right. Well, what do you think? Oh, I almost forgot the most important thing. Why didn't you remind me? Our wink of Stella. Okay, so I just came in here and just, you know, got all the flowers so they have a little bit of sparkle, you know, like the sun is hitting them. And then get your little butterfly. And I'm even going to give her little bow some shimmer. And we're just about done. Now the card is complete. It's not ever complete unless there's a little bit of sparkle. So I'll put that up here. Isn't that sweet? I just love this little kitty. She's so happy. Okay, now that might have been the fastest card ever. Well, for me. So thank you so much for watching today. If you would like, you can stop over at my blog, jenscrappypages.blogspot.com, and I will have a printable and downloadable PDF tutorial that you can print out if you so choose. And I will catch you later. Bye.